So, March for Our Lives is planning a nationwide protest this June in response to the Uvalde school shooting. The protest will take place roughly 4 years after the shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida, where 17 people were killed. That shooting catapulted the March for Our Lives movement. With me now is Vanity Fair contributor Dave Cullen. He is also the author of bestsellers Columbine and Parkland, Birth of a Movement. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, you are the author of these books, but really, I mean, with Columbine, you have been covering this story, if you will, for, I guess, almost 2 decades now. I mean,
over 23 years.
Yeah, so you have really, and so as a result, you've been called on a lot to talk about these sort of shootings. So I want to ask you about the first thing that came to mind when you heard about the shooting in Uvalde. And I'll tell you what came to mind for me after, oh my God, not again, was, boy, it reminds me of Sandy Hook, an elementary school. He attacked his grandmother, the same style of weapon. Did that come to mind for you too?
Not all those details, because you know, my first reaction when I saw that it was little kids was that I couldn't turn it on. And I mean, like you, like everybody who does these kinds of things for a living, you know, our job is when I get the first text is like I got to turn on the TV and prepare. I was immediately, you know, my phone was blowing up to do shows like this, and the first thing I have to do is turn on the TV to be prepared and talk about it intelligently. And this is the first time in memory I couldn't. I'm like, I'm not doing that for a while, and I couldn't bear to do it. I mean, yeah, and I discovered that I naively, I mean, I think maybe a lot of people. I had created this mental category of Sandy Hook as this sort of exception.
Totally.
Thank God there was only one of those, as if that was gonna, you know, happen. But somehow I believed that it would until it didn't, and I was like, "What, you idiot? Like what? You know?" But you know, so all that sort of came crashing down, and just this I don't know why I can cover. I mean, it always breaks my heart, but like high school students, it's heartbreaking. And the little kids is just unbearable. I just can't even. It's hard to even face.
So let's talk a little bit about what you have learned about these sorts of shootings, though, in the time that you've been covering. You know, with Columbine, you didn't just want to cover the shooting; you wanted to cover the impact of the shooting on the community over many, many years. Right. So I have sort of a two-part question. Okay. What have we learned about the shooters? You know, the question is always, what's the motive? What's the motive? What have you learned about the type of people who do this sort of thing?
Yeah, well, to my surprise, they fall into 3 categories. And you know, the early reports from the FBI and the Secret Service stressed there's no profile. You know, there's no one thing. I thought, okay. And then I began talking to Marianne Lynn O'Toole, who's like the most brilliant FBI profiler probably ever.
We talked to her a lot.
And who wrote the FBI report. And I was like, really? Is there no way to narrow it down? And she's like, actually, there's 3. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. So let's talk about that. So I did a piece for Newsweek and other places that the 3 primarily ones, and this is outside of terrorism, which is a whole different thing. Psychopaths, very rare. Really deeply mentally ill, and you know, so we're out of touch with reality.
Right.
And that's usually either schizophrenic or paranoid schizophrenic are the most common, but you know, really psychotic break.
Yeah.
And then the third, and the most common by far, is the deeply depressed, suicidally depressed, which is also a form of mental illness, but I'm differentiating with where people understand what they're doing, as you know, and the second category I described don't. The deeply depressed, that's most of them. And you wouldn't think of that. I mean, it makes sense to me now, but at first I was like, what? And I think most people are like, why would a depressed kid? I think the easiest way to understand it is that psychologists often refer to depression as anger turned inward.
Oh, how fascinating.
Yeah, so you're angry at yourself. And think about it so picture you get up every morning and somebody says to you, you freaking idiot, you pathetic. Before you get out of bed, you pathetic, you're such a failure, this day is gonna be awful, everyone hates you because you're miserable, you're a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, that voice is you saying that to you all day long.
Yeah.
Because it's a very, very angry voice. Well, of course, then you're going to manifest as depressed. You're going to, you know, struggle out of bed. All day you're going to be like this. And so we're seeing, you know, the sadness, you're hearing the anger, and that's the driving force. So there's a lot of anger inside most depressed people.
We don't know much about this guy, but it certainly sounds like that category might be an option there. And in regards to how this impacts the children, we've listened to a number of kids like describe without crying what they heard in their school. But it's inside them, and we don't know when it's going to come out. What have you learned about how the kids who live through these sort of things, how that experience manifests itself later on over the years?
Well, there's some good news there. It's going to be rough on them, and a certain percentage of them, it's going to be really, really bad with PTSD. Trauma. I've actually, like in Parkland, I actually have a chapter on the different kinds. Is much worse by far when you feel like somebody is intentionally harming you and doing it with cruelty. So the trauma of, say, like a car accident or burn victims or something like that, or a tornado, where it's just like you may be in much danger, but it's much less likely to traumatize you because it feels like something arbitrary and chance. The closer you get to it, rape survivors are near the top of the scale. Even if your life isn't in danger, is like because somebody is doing something horrible to you,
personally targeted,
intentionally. That's near the top of the scale. Mass murder and people where they either torture the victims or you feel like you're being tortured, right at the top of the scale, because it's just you lose your faith in your fellow man.
And does that happen with these kids?
With a not with all, not with the majority, and I forget the percentages, but I don't want to say a number, a significant minority are really going to grapple with that, and some for their whole lives. Now, the good news, I was really surprised with Columbine, is those kids were a complete mess for the first several weeks. I spent almost the first week every day out there. It took several years, but by the 5-year mark, most of them were doing okay. Now, remember, there's a certain percentage that are kind of damaged for life.
Right.
But we were talking about the large number. Not all of them. And I remember talking to Val Schnurr, who was the actual girl who got asked if she believed in God. There was a whole myth about a different girl, but this is the real girl. And she told me at the 5-year mark, she stopped talking to the media because everybody was doing 5-year anniversary stories, and the narrative was becoming, oh, the kids are getting past it. Because she's like, that was true for most of my peers, but not for all of us. And I didn't want to be the kid who was oh yeah, I can't get past it. So I just didn't do
So
media.
what does not getting past it look like?
Well, she actually doesn't remember her years in college.
Wow.
She's like, I got my degree, I could do this stuff. I can't remember entire years of things that happened. Now that's not it happens to everybody, but it can be just a blackout. She eventually did around 7 and 8. By the 8th, I would see them at different stages. So I think 8 years was when they built the memorial, or there was some big thing where I went back and talked to a whole lot of them. By then, really, that's when the vast majority had gotten behind it, past it, and actually when they got back together and saw each other, they no longer wanted each other to bring it up. They were actually tired of talking about it for the most part.
You had said instead of PTSD, what you were more likely to see was depression.
Depression, yes. PTSD is sort of the highest level on that, and depression can be severe, but yeah, that's the much more common is depression.
Dave Cullen, I could talk to you for hours about this because you have just so much knowledge. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.